Welcome to the Telescope Show. We are discovering God through geek culture, vanquishing doubt, and helping you become a hero of faith. Well, today we are talking about Venom #2, Let There Be Carnage, and it's an older movie, but first of all, we should say hi to the good people, huh?
I think so.
Yeah. I hope you're doing well out there.
We're the Cyple Andersons, and we're doing well. It is a snow day today. It's a little chilly, and the kids have been home from school, which made our schedule get a little crazy. But right now we are sitting warm in our basement with our fake fireplace space heater, recording another episode of the Telescope.
Hey, maybe we should give away our fake fire space heater for episode number 100.
I don't want to think about what the shipping cost would be on it.
We'll drive it to their house. JK.
That does not sound like a good idea.
Well, on that note, that's not what we're going to give away for episode number 100. We'll talk more about that later.
Plus, it only sometimes works.
True.
So we don't really want to give away something that only sometimes works.
That's true. We'd autograph it, of course.
Well, that might make up for it.
Well, let's talk about some news. How about that?
Sounds good.
Star Trek IV is slated to release in December of 2023. It's the fourth film in the Kelvin timeline. So that's the newest kind of like the reboot with the Captain Kirk character.
Why is it called the Kelvin timeline?
I can't remember.
Oh, it seems like a weird thing.
What's
the current timeline?
Well, I guess this one would kind of be the Kelvin timeline, but you know how they did the revision of Captain Kirk's life because that dude had a time traveling spaceship and he came, and then old Spock came from.
Oh, that's right. You know, I should really revisit that movie Movie. That's how much I remember it.
Yeah.
I don't even remember if it was a movie or a show.
In my opinion, the first two are great. The third one was horrible. We saw the third one in a theater in the Twin Cities. I don't know if you remember this, but Katie and I like to try to bring coffee into the movies because we love coffee more than soda. And so often we just go get coffee and then go to the theater with it. And usually they don't say anything and we're not sneaking it in, so we just don't feel bad about it. But this particular theater was like, hey, we have coffee here. We're like, let's try it. That's awesome. That's brilliant. We love coffee. And we love watching movies with coffee. So we bought the movie theater coffee, and it was awful. The coffee was awful, and I thought the movie was awful.
Maybe that's why I don't remember it.
You've just washed
I
it
just
out of your
washed
mind.
it out of my mind. It's not a good memory.
Well, yeah. It was the one where they defeated the bad guys by playing the Beastie Boys.
How do I not remember this? That seems like something I should remember.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Star Trek 4. I am excited. I do like those characters. I do like the new Captain Kirk and Spock and like that new cast. So I am looking forward to it. And next year is the year, apparently. Well, Marvel is releasing a slew of things, starting with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, coming out May 6th. Thor, Love and Thunder, July 8th. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, November 11th. And the biggest news item of all, episode 100 of the Telescope Show is just 2 weeks away. Boom! And people are signing up for the trivia challenge, so we're excited for that. We're in the middle of putting that together for you all. And next week, we will unveil what the prize will be for the trivia winner.
It's going to be better than a semi-broken space heater.
All right, let's talk about Venom Part 2, Let There Be Carnage. Venom, Let There Be Carnage is the movie we are talking about today. This kind of came up because we couldn't figure out what to watch. And then I realized that we hadn't seen this one yet, and it's still pretty new, and it's going to tie into the MCU. So, yeah, we watched Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Katie, how many stars would you give this out of 5?
I think I'd probably just give it 2.5. Maybe only 2.5. I don't know. I also didn't see Venom 1, I'm pretty sure, or if I did see it, I really don't remember it at all. And so that might be, it felt a little disjointed to me, but some of that might be because I didn't see the first one.
I can see that. It was kind of a fun movie, just not one of my favorites. But there were some interesting things, and it is really worth paying attention to, especially because now the Venom character is going to tie into the MCU. I personally enjoy the Venom character.
Yeah, and I kind of don't.
You said his voice annoys you.
I think his voice kind of grates on me.
Yeah.
It's harsh and always sounds like he's like trying to like project something on you. Puts me on edge.
You know what's interesting is that I actually like the Venom character because he's, to my mind, he's the goofier of the two characters. But I have a hard time with Eddie Brock.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. At the end, Eddie seemed to get better because he like kind of came to like maybe an understanding with himself or he kind of seemed lost for most of the movie and just trying to hold it together. It's almost like Venom and his world was too crazy and everything was breaking and there was just chaos all around. And then eventually they seemed to work that out at the end.
That was an interesting character arc that he went on. But yeah, and maybe Eddie just seems too like disheveled for, I don't know. There's like, maybe what it is, I think in the first movie, he was depicted as this kind of smart, edgy reporter.
Okay.
Who was kind of scrappy. And then to see him completely disheveled and a wreck, I don't know.
Yeah, it would be a little hard to have a voice like Venom in your head all the time, though.
That's true.
I think I would feel like a disheveled mess too if there was kind of this, you need me because I'm so awesome and you're really dumb, so
it's true.
Rely on me because I'm so much better.
Yeah.
That would probably make you a little disheveled after a while.
So Eddie and Venom, they did have this kind of buddy thing. At one point in the movie, I looked over and I said, "Oh, it's a chick flick, right? They're friends, then they break up, but then they find their way back together."
Yeah, that's true. It's more of like a bro friendship, though, than a chick flick friendship. But
right. So that was cool. So they make peace with each other by the end of the film. That was nice to see. That gave me warm and fuzzies inside. And then there was the Carnage character, the new symbiote, who just was pretty much a hateful alien that wanted to kill everybody.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he was. It is interesting because you raised the point where he it's almost like at the end of the movie, they projected the badness of the Cletus, there we go, the bad guy, onto like Carnage, where Cletus became more of like a real human with real emotions and feelings and that kind of stuff. And then Carnage was really just like the real bad guy.
Yeah, they definitely portrayed Cletus as just this completely nuts serial killer. And I guess as the movie went on, they softened him a little bit by giving him a girl that he really loved.
And at the end, that conversation between Eddie Brock and Cletus, where he's just basically like, I want to be a friend, and I wanted you to be my friend. If you were listening, you would have realized that. But then also, like, I don't remember exactly the timeline on it, but we found out that he killed his family, but then it was like as a result of abuse, and he just wanted someone to protect him, and so there's this kind of human feeling that comes into Cletus. But the reality is, he did really, really, really bad things, like really terrible things. So it doesn't. It shows the human side of him. You can have almost a little bit of sympathy, but
not too much sympathy, and no one really felt bad when Venom just decided to bite his head off.
It was jarring to me, though. I'll be honest, I did not expect it, and I was kind of like, that's not really typical good guy like behavior there.
It's like he got what it was coming to him, but it wasn't really satisfying. It was a little weird.
It's a little weird, yeah. It was kind of, especially after this like heartfelt, like I just poured my heart out to you. This was why I am who I am. If society had accepted me better then, or protected me better then I would have been different. I don't know. I think
the timing wasn't great.
The timing wasn't great. I don't know. I think that like that statement is like really deep and poignant and raises like a whole bunch of societal and relationship issues there. And then they bite his head off. It was kind of like, oh, whoa, okay, so we're done with that then.
And really, a relationship with Eddie would not have actually helped Cletus, the crazy serial killer. And really, no human relationship could have. But what could have is a relationship with God. A relationship with God is so much more powerful than any human relationship. And Katie and I have seen that many times in people's lives. Another thing that we've seen over and over in people's lives is hurt and shame and bitterness from things in the past, things people have said and done that have scarred you and have given you hang-ups. And I want to let you know that God can help you work through those things and just move forward past those things. And it can be just super powerful.
And you don't have to worry then about Venom biting your head off.
That's right. That's right.
That's a bonus.
Thankfully, we don't have an actual Venom in our life. Thankfully, God isn't like Venom, just ready to bite our head off at a moment's notice.
That's a really good point. I'm really grateful for that.
He is very patient with us. Although, the Venom character is interesting because they try to make him this sort of good guy, the funny guy, the good guy, but then he just goes ahead and bites someone's head off. And then he eats his own offspring.
Right. Yeah. Again, he's this kind of endearing person. Or they're trying to kind of make him an endearing person type thing, but then he still has his venomness, which would probably be the whole biting heads off and stuff.
I think one of the most enduring things for me was the whole scene where Venom got up at the rave and gave that speech, and he called himself the Lethal Protector.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. That was my favorite part of the entire movie.
There's a big ego thing when it comes to Venom that is kind of strewn throughout. I mean, even the main chick, I don't remember what her name was, but she's like, "Oh, Venom, you're so amazing. We really need you." And he's like, "Oh, right then, I'll save the day."
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
So Lethal Protector, I guess it's kind of fitting with.
It's a great name. Well, I thought the most exciting part, even though that was my favorite, most entertaining part, though I think the most exciting part of Venom 2 was actually the post-credit scene, where we finally got to see Venom end up in the MCU, and now that Spider-Man No Way Home has come out, we know that his transference, is that the right word? His being sent into the MCU universe magically was actually because of magic, because of Doctor Strange's magic.
And fun fact, I have not seen that movie yet either. Spider-Man No Way Home yet.
Yeah, that's right.
So Matt had to kind of explain the post-credit scene because it really made no sense to me at all. So I'm excited to watch that one because I haven't seen it yet.
So a question I have, and maybe some of you have a theory about this. I'd love to hear your theories. So in the Venom post-credit scene, Venom got very excited when he saw Spider-Man on the TV, which fits because I think in the comic books, Venom is sort of obsessed with Spider-Man. And he even licked the screen. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember you saying that. I must not have been watching.
Yeah. So that was
Why
okay.
would he lick the screen?
Well, I don't know. So I've got that in my mind. But then in the post-credit scene from the Spider-Man movie, he was in the MCU, and then he was just sort of warped back out of the MCU, but he left a little symbiote behind.
A little
baby.
piece of him. Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah, how they reproduce is really weird because he was scared of his offspring, kind of.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, it's a red one," but it came from him. So,
and what species hates its
that?
own offspring, or its own offspring hate it?
Yeah, they want to eat each other.
It's weird. I guess it's comic book.
It is weird, and he just leaves his offspring places. It doesn't seem like it's purposeful in any kind of way. It just kind of happens.
But okay, let me just finish my thought here.
Okay.
My question is, will that little symbiote become the new Venom in the MCU, or are we going to get the Venom we already know being brought into the MCU? And it seems like now that the Venom in the Sony Spider-Verse knows a little bit about the MCU, it makes sense that he's going to come into the MCU in some way. I mean, why would they do that if they're just going to drop a little mini Venom and then that's it? But I don't know.
Maybe the mini Venom will end up being the bad guy.
Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts, theories, comments. If you're listening to this on YouTube, put a comment in. If you're on Facebook, put a comment in. Or you can email comments and thoughts to thetelescope at iCloud. Or go to our website, thetelescopeshow.com.
We'd love to hear from you.
And make sure that you subscribe. Play this for your dog, your pets when you leave the house because it's very soothing. And tell everyone you know about it.
And make sure and sign up for our 100th episode challenge, which is on our website. So check out that website, sign up. We'll get you involved with that. and it's going to be a lot of fun, and you'll get a super awesome prize if you know your stuff.
All right, we're going to sign off. Love you all. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.